Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have come up with another video, that is antimalarial agents. So let's get started. First off, what is malaria? So malaria is caused by a species of plasmodium such as Plasmodium falciparum, Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax. The most dangerous is the Plasmodium falciparum. Now why is it dangerous? Because the infected red blood cells become sticky and form lumps in the capillaries of the deep organs of the body and cause microcirculatory arrest. The remaining three, that is Plasmodium malariae, Plasmodium ovale and Plasmodium vivax, produce mild forms of malaria by destroying RBCs in the peripheral capillaries and thus causing anemia. There are also bouts of fever which correspond to the reproductive cycle of the parasite. Now, antimalarial agents are the drugs used for the treatment or prophylaxis of malaria. A fun fact about malaria is there is another type of Plasmodium species, that is Plasmodium knowlesi, which causes malaria in pets, that is cats and dogs. Next, we will go on to the classification of anti-malarial agents. Now, for the classification, we have 4 aminoquinolines, that is chloroquine, amodiaquine, piperacquine. We will remember 4 aminoquinolines as CAP: chloroquine, amodiaquine and piperacquine. Next, we have quinoline methanol. So, quinoline methanol, so meth we will take and we will make it mefloquine. Next we have cinchona alkaloids. So the cinchona derivatives are quinine and quinidine. So the cinchona alkaloids are quinine and quinidine. Biguanides we have proguanil. Diaminopyrimidines we have pyrimethamine. 8 aminoquinolines we have primaquine, tefenoquine. Next we have sulfonamides and sulfones. In that we have sulfadoxine, sulfamethoxypyrazine and dapsone. In antibiotics, we have tetracycline, doxycycline, clindamycin. In sesquiterpene lactones, we have artesunate, artemether, arteether and arterolin. In amino alcohols, we have halofenadrine and lumefantrine. In nephtyridine, we have pyronaridine. And in nephtoquinone, we have atovaquone. Now, sulfonamides, as we know, sulfadoxine, sulfamethoxypyrazine and dapsone. In antibiotics, we can remember DCT, distal convoluted tubule. So DCT here will mean doxycycline, clindamycin, tetracycline. In sesquiterpene lactones we have all RT, so they are a work of art, remember that. So artesunate, artemether, arteether and arterolin. Next we have amino alcohols, so halofenadrine and lumefantrine. In nephtyridine we have this RIDINE will be added last and pyronaridine. In nephtoquinone, we have atovaquone. Similarly, in biguanides, we have this GUAN part taken and we'll make it proguanil. Diaminopyrimidine, we'll take this pyrimidine first, so pyri and then methamine. 8 aminoquinolines, we have 8 aminoquinolines is PT, that is primaquine, tefenoquine. Whereas in 4 aminoquinolines, we have CAP, that is chloroquine, amodiaquine, piperacquine. Next we will go to the SAR of 4-aminoquinoline. We have the life cycle of Plasmodium. So there are two important phases of the parasite life cycle, that is the asexual stage and the sexual stage. So the asexual stage often occurs in the infected host. Now there are two substages, that is the exoerythrocytic stage and the erythrocytic stage. Now the exoerythrocytic stage is the stage which occurs outside. Exo means outside the RBC, so it happens in the hepatic cells. And the erythrocytic stage, it happens in the RBC. Now the sexual stage occurs in the mosquito itself. So what happens here is, during the asexual stage or the exoerythrocytic stage or the hepatic stage, the female Anopheles mosquito is a vector or the carrier of Plasmodium. So when the female Anopheles mosquito bites the human, it injects sporozoites in the humans. Now it stores the sporozoites in the salivary gland. So when the mosquito bites, it is injected into the human. It circulates in the blood and reaches the hepatic cells. Now in the liver, the sporozoites develop into schizons. Now schizons are multinucleated cells which are formed by asexual reproduction. This further develops into merozoites. So in the asexual stage, we have first the sporozoites will be released from the saliva of the mosquito into the bloodstream. From here, they will go into the hepatic cells. What will happen in the hepatic cells? In the hepatic cells, these sporozoites would be converted into schizons, which are multinucleated cells which are formed by asexual reproduction. Further, schizons will develop into merozoites. Now, from merozoites, once the hepatocyte ruptures, it enters into the blood and attacks the RBC. In the RBC, the merozoite replicates and leads to the rupture of the RBC. Now it releases the merozoites in the blood, and among these 1% are converted into gametocytes. So we had till merozoites. So the merozoites will be converted into gametocytes. Now these gametocytes will be both male as well as female. Now what happens next is the sexual stage. Now this was the erythrocytic stage. Next we have the sexual stage. In the sexual stage, the mosquito takes up the gametocyte when it bites the infected human. So again these gametocytes will go to the mosquito. Now when the gametocytes are taken up by the mosquito, the sexual reproduction takes place. Now the male and the female zygote will fuse and get a diploid zygote, that is the ookinetic. The ookinete further develops into oocyst in the gut of the mosquito. The oocyst undergoes endomitotic division to form sporozoite, and this sporozoite will be again stored in the salivary gland of the mosquito. So let us say once more, the sporozoites from the saliva of the mosquito are injected into the humans. In the humans, they will first go and attack the hepatocytes. In the hepatocytes, the sporozoites will convert into schizons. From schizons, they will further develop into merozoites. From the merozoites, they will break free from the hepatocytes and enter into the RBC cells. In the RBC cells, the merozoites will be converted to gametocytes. From the gametocytes, they will enter the mosquito again. From the infected individual, if the mosquito bites the infected individual, it will get back into the mosquito, and there would be fusion. Due to fusion, there would be a diploid ookinetic formed. Ookinetic as in the ookinete will be formed. From the ookinete, we will get the oocyst. From the oocyst, we will get the sporozoites. Then again this cycle will repeat. Now let us see the basic structure of a 4-aminoquinoline. So we will have two benzene rings which are attached to each other. In one benzene ring, we will have a nitrogen group. In the third position of that, we will have an R1 group, and in the fourth position, a NHR group. Now both these R's can be substituted, and then we have a chlorine group in the 7th position. So 4-aminoquinoline. So in the 4th position, we have an amino. With that, we will have an R which can be substituted. In R3 position, we have one R, and in the 7th position, we have a chlorine. Now, for the SAR of quinoline, 4-aminoquinoline, the quinoline ring is the basic structural requirement for the antimalarial activity. So, the basic structural requirement is the quinoline ring. This is the quinoline ring. Next, we have substitution of methyl group at the C3 position leads to a reduction in the activity. Now instead, if this R is substituted with a methyl group, there will be reduction in activity. The nitrogen at C4 position is essential for the malarial activity. So first we had that the quinoline ring is essential. Next we have the NH group, that is the nitrogen at the C4 position is essential for antimalarial activity. Next we have at C4 position, at C4, if hydrogen or NH is replaced with OH, it will reduce the toxicity and increase the antimalarial activity. Now at C4 position, if NH or if H or both NH are substituted with an OH group, there would be reduction in toxicity and increase in antimalarial activity. Next we have at C4 position, the carbon side chain is essential for optimal activity in order to overcome resistance. So to overcome resistance we need this R group right here. So this R chain is also important for us. And the C position, the carbon side chain should contain 2 to 5 carbon atoms for its optimal activity. That is, as we can see in chloroquine. So it requires 2 to 5 carbon atoms. Now for the structure of chloroquine, the structure of chloroquine is something like this. And H, and then we have two mountains, a half mountain with a nitrogen right here and a CH2CH3, CH2CH3 and a carbon right here. So how many carbons? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have this carbon also, so 5. So we need 2 to 5 carbon atoms for optimal activity. So as we see in chloroquine, as we see right here in chloroquine. Next we have at C4 position, if R is substituted by an aromatic ring, the carbon side chain will reduce the toxicity and it will increase the activity. Example, we have amodiaquine. Now for the structure of amodiaquine, again we will have the same basic structure. So let's draw amodiaquine, a benzene ring, another benzene ring attached to it, a nitrogen group right here, and we will give double bonds. Then we will have a chlorine group right here. In here we will have an NH group, and attached to this would be a benzene ring. And to this benzene ring we will give a OH right here and a CH2N which is connected to C2H5 and C2H5. Now we will give an extra H also, so this will have a positive charge. So when the C4 position, that is this R group, is substituted with an aromatic ring, it will reduce the toxicity and increase the activity. Example, we have amodiaquine. Next we have the chlorine atom at C7 position is required for the optimal antimalarial activity. Now there is also another reason, because it also increases the basicity of the compound and it is responsible for hemazoin inhibition and for basicity of the compound. Now any substitution at C8 position, that is this position right here, leads to abolition of activity. So there would be no other antimalarial activity seen if the C8 position is substituted. Next we have the D isomer of chloroquine is less toxic as compared to the L isomer of chloroquine. So the D isomer is less toxic. So toxicity wise, the D isomer is less toxic as compared to the L isomer. Next we have the SAR of 8 aminoquinolines. So for the SAR of 8 aminoquinolines, we have the quinoline ring is the basic structural requirement for the antimalarial activity. As we had said in the SAR of 4 aminoquinolines as well, quinoline ring is the basic structural requirement. Now, introduction or substitution of methyl group at 2, 3 and 5 position will lead to reduced activity. So there it was only this part if there was substitution of a methyl group, but here it is 2, 3 or 4 and 5th position will lead to reduced activity. Now, substitution of methyl group at C4 position will not affect the activity. Now, this group can get a R, that is methyl group, it won't affect the activity. Example of this would be 4-methyl primaquine. So, how do we draw the structure of primaquine, 4-methyl primaquine? First, we draw the general structure, a nitrogen right here, then we give the double bonds, then we add an NH group, and then we add a OCH3 group right here, and here we will give a methyl group, that is 4-methyl. And for primaquine we will do the same thing as chloroquine, so 1, 2 and then nitrogen. After this there was 2 C2H5 groups for chloroquine, but here it is a NH2, and here there would be another methyl group. So this is a structure of 4-methyl primaquine. Next we have substitution of halogens will increase the toxicity and reduce the activity. So if any other halogens are substituted here, there would be increase in toxicity and reduction in activity. Next we have at C6 position, in the presence of methoxy group, it is essential for the antimalarial activity. The presence of methoxy group right here in the 6th position is essential for antimalarial activity. Next we have methoxy group can be substituted with H or OH group. Now instead of this OCH3 we can have an H or OH group. The methoxy group, if replaced by methyl or ethoxy, can lead to reduced activity. So what we are saying here is we can substitute it with H and OH, but we can't substitute it with methyl and ethoxy, that is OCH2 CH3. So this no, this is a yes. Next there should be no substitution in C7 position as it leads to reduced activity. So the C7 position right here in 4-aminoquinolines it was substituted by chlorine. Here it is not substituted. If substituted, it leads to reduced activity. Next is the amine group. So the amine group at the C8 position is required for the activity. So this is also required for the activity. The side chain at the C8 position should contain only 2 to 6 methyl groups for optimal activity. So it should be 2 to 8 carbons or methyl groups for optimal activity. Now the terminal N8, that is this nitrogen at the 8th position, at C8 position, can be primary, secondary or tertiary. Now it can be primary with primaquine, where primaquine attached to this N would be a H this way, a carbon this way, and a 1, 2.5 and H2. So this is a primary primaquine. It can be secondary in pentaquine. So next we have pharmaquine. So for the structure of pharmaquine, what we will do is there would be attached to this N group, we have a carbon which is attached to another carbon this way and another carbon this way right here, and then 1, 2, 3, and then this attached to a nitrogen, and then C2H5, C2H5. So this carbon, it is attached to a primary, secondary carbon. So this is a structure of pharmaquine. So 3-degree pharmaquine. Next we have the structure and MOA uses of chloroquine. Next we have chloroquine. So for the structure of chloroquine, first we will draw, since it is a 4-aminoquinoline, we will draw the basic structure. That is 2 benzene rings attached to each other. One benzene ring has a nitrogen fused in the ring. Then we have the double bonds. Then we have a NH, and attached to this we have 2 mountains, a nitrogen, attached to this C2H5, C2H5. Here we have a CH3 group, and right here we have a chlorine group. So this is a structure of chloroquine. So the MOA, it inhibits heme polymerase and heme is not converted to hemozoin. So there is accumulation of heme and it is toxic for the parasite. Now the uses are prevention and therapy of malaria, extraintestinal amoebiasis, anti-inflammatory agent for rheumatic arthritis and systemic lupus erythematosus. Next we have amodiaquin. So as we said that in amodiaquin the R group of the 4 amino quinoline, this NH group is a aromatic ring. So it is 2 benzene rings fused to each other. One has a nitrogen in the ring. Then we have a chlorine right here. Attached to this nitrogen we have a hydrogen, and then attached to this we have a benzene ring. To the benzene, in the para position of the nitrogen we have OH, and then in its ortho position we have CH2, NH, C2H5, C2H5. So since the valency of nitrogen is 3, we will give it a plus charge. So this is a structure of amodiaquin. Now it inhibits heme polymerase and heme, and it is not converted to hemozoin, so it accumulates and is toxic for the parasite, the same MOA as that of chloroquine. Now the uses are, it is used in the therapy of malaria, so it is not used in the prophylaxis. It is used for chloroquine resistant Plasmodium falciparum, and it is also used as an anti-inflammatory agent. Next we have the structure of mefloquine. So as we know, mefloquine is a quinoline methanol. First we will draw the structure of a quinoline. So the structure of quinoline is one benzene. Attached to this we have another benzene with a nitrogen in the center, and then we have double bonds right here, and then double bonds here. And now for mefloquine, as we can see, Me, this is methyl group. FLO, it means there is a fluorine, and then there is a quinoline ring. So we will draw a CF3 here. Now this is methyl, but instead of methyl there is me-flo. So CF3 instead of CH3. So we will add a CF3 here and a CF3 here. Now we will attach this with another carbon attached to an OH group, and then with this carbon we will have a 6-membered cyclohexane right here. In this also we will have a NH. So we will remember here as another pyridine ring. So NH right here, and we will get our mefloquine. Next is the MOA. So it is similar to chloroquine, that is hemozoin inhibition. It also inhibits protein synthesis by targeting ribosomal ATS subunit. Now the uses of mefloquine include therapy for malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum, and it is also used as an anti-inflammatory agent. Next we have primaquine. Now primaquine also is a type of 8-amino quinoline. So 8-amino quinoline, first we will draw the basic structure, that is 2 benzene rings fused to each other. One benzene ring will contain a nitrogen in the ring. We'll give the double bonds. Next we have, instead of the 7th position chlorine, we have in the 6th position a methoxy group, and then a nitrogen here. In the 8th position we have an NH attached to a R group. So the R group right here would be 1, 2, a nitrogen, and an H2 and a CH3 right here. So till here it is very similar to your chloroquine. Only difference is there is a H2 right here, so it becomes primaquine. Next we have the MOA. It inhibits replication of parasite in the hepatic stage. It produces reactive oxygen species, that is free radical, and it disrupts the electron transport chain in the mitochondria of the parasite. Now the uses are prevention and therapy of malaria. Next we have the 8-amino quinolines. In 8-amino quinolines, as we already saw, primaquine. Next we have pharmaquine. So in pharmaquine we will have the same structure, and as that of chloroquine. We have the chloroquine side chain that is attached to N. We have 1, 2, half mountain, C2H5, C2H5 and a CH3 right here. So the chloroquine side chain is repeated in pharmaquine. Next we have pentaquine. So penta means 5. So there are 5 carbons in the chain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the basic same structure, and then to this nitrogen we have 3 carbons attached. So it would be like chloroquine 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We have an extra 5 here, and then we will attach a nitrogen. To this nitrogen we will give a C, which is bifurcated into 2 other CH3 groups. So this is the structure of pentaquine. In 4-methylprimaquine is the same as primaquine, just the addition of a CH3 right here. Next we have cinchoalkaloids. In cinchoalkaloids we have quinine and quinidine. So quinine and quinidine look like 8 aminoquinolines, but they are not fully 8 aminoquinolines. So it's a N here, double bonds right here, double bonds right here. Here we will give it a OCH3 group, but there is no NHR group right here. So here we will have this one attached to a carbon, which is attached to another cyclohexane, which has a kind of a thunderbolt here, a nitrogen right here, and a CH double bond CH2. So here we will have, if the top is a OH, then it is an L isomer, so it will be quinine. If the top right here, will change only this top, so this top, if it is hydrogen, and if the lower part is OH, then this will become a D isomer, so it will become quinidine. So remember quinine and quinidine. So when it's a D isomer, it will have a D in the name, so it will have quinidine. So D isomer quinidine, L isomer quinine. Next we have the MOA. It inhibits nucleic acid synthesis and also inhibits DNA replication. It affects the ability of the parasite to utilize hemoglobin. Next is the uses. So the uses are prevention and therapy of malaria, antipyretic and analgesic, nocturnal leg cramps, and for myotonia congenita. Next we have proguanyl. So as we know proguanyl is biguanide. So guanide group is C attached with NH2, NH2 and double bond NH. So this one will be repeated twice. Biguanide means there is 2 times this guanide group. So first we will draw the biguanide group, that is we will give NH, C double bond NH, NH, C double bond NH, NH. Then we have proguanyl. So because it is proguanyl, we will give a carbon which is pro means propane. So propane means there are 3 carbons. So there are 1, 2, 3 carbons right here. Then we have, since it's a biguanide and it belongs to antimalarial class, we will give it a benzene ring with a chlorine attached in the para position. So this is the structure of proguanyl. So the MOA is, it inhibits folic acid synthesis by inhibiting dihydrofolate reductase. Now the uses includes prophylaxis therapy of malaria, antiprotozoal and antimalarial agent. Next we have pyrimethamine. So for pyrimethamine, as we know, it is a pyridine. What kind of pyridine? It's a diamino pyridine. So we will have, it is a diamino pyridine. So what we will do is, first we will take a benzene ring with 2 nitrogens right here and here. So 2 nitrogens right here. We'll give it the double bonds. Now we have diamino, so we will get an amino group right here, amino group right here. We will attach this ring to another benzene ring with a chlorine. Now this is the signature of a antimalarial agent. Now this one right here we will add a C2H5 group. So pyrimethamine. So pyrimidine ring with a ethane and two amines we will get pyrimethamine. So this is a pyridine ring. We have the two amines, we have the ethane group, and we have the signature of a antimalarial agent, that is a benzene with a chlorine. So the MOA is it inhibits folic acid synthesis by inhibiting dihydrofolate reductase. Now the uses are prevention of malaria caused by Plasmodium falciparum and Plasmodium vivax. The treatment of toxoplasmosis, and it is also used as an immunosuppressive agent. Next we have artemisinin. So artemisinin, the MOA is trioxin ring or endoperoxide bridge is responsible for the antimalarial action. The artemisinin is an inactive drug which is converted to dihydroartemisinin. Now dihydromycin inhibits mitochondrial function and nucleic acid synthesis. So therefore it will lead to the death of the parasite. Now it is used only solely for therapy of malaria. Next we have a short note on artemisinin derivatives. So China in 1964 came up with the Wild 523 project to develop an anti-malarial drug. They started investigating plant products and tested almost 2000 herbs. Finally they extracted artemisinin in 1972 from the Artemisia annua tree in the leadership of Miss Tu Vo Yu. The plant is also known as sweet wormwood, also known as king horseshoe. They are not used as monotherapy to avoid resistance by the WHO. Now the combinations approved for use are artemether lumefantrine, artesunate amodiaquine, artesunate mefloquine, artesunate pyronidine, and so on. Now the semi-synthetic derivatives of artemisinin includes artemether, arteether, artesunate, arteroline. Now for the basic structure of these artemisinins we have one heptane ring, cycloheptane ring. Then we have a cyclohexane ring. In these two we have another cyclohexane ring. Now first we will draw the endoperoxide bridge, that is two oxygens right here, attach it right here, and outside this give it a CH3, another oxygen in the ring, then one oxygen in this ring. Now this ring will not have any oxygen but just a CH3 coming out of it, an H coming out here, an H coming out here, and an H coming out here. Now here this one will be a CH3, and here we will have a double bond O or a single bond O R. Now this R group can be attached with methyl, ethyl, or now this would be artemether, arteether. Now artesunate we will have C attached to the oxygen, we have C double bond O, CH2, CH2, COOH. So this would be artesunate. Next we have the structure of atovaquone. So as we know, atovaquone, it is a naphthoquinone. So naphthoquinone, so first we will draw the structure of naphthalene, that is two benzene rings which are fused to each other. Two benzene rings which are fused to each other. Now we need a double bond O right here and a double bond O right here. Now it's a quone, right? So quone, ONE means a ketone. So two ketones will put right here and another OH right here. So the double bond has to come somewhere here. Now attach this to a cyclohexane and another benzene group and a chlorine right here. So this will give you your atovaquone. Now, it blocks the mitochondrial electrolyte transport, inhibiting pyrimidine synthesis. So, it prevents the DNA synthesis and leads to protozoal death. Now, the uses include prevention and therapy of Plasmodium falciparum malaria. Next, moving on to the synthesis of chloroquine. So, for the synthesis of chloroquine, there are two steps. That is, first we have to synthesize the 4,7-dichloroquinoline, and then we have to condense it with 1-ethyl amino 4-amino pentene. So first we will synthesize this product right here, that is 4,7-dichloroquinoline. Before doing that, we will keep a structure of chloroquine right here for us to refer and check what we need to add to the product. So we need a chlorine group right here. Here we need a NH group, 2 mountains, half mountain nitrogen, C2H5, C2H5, there's a rod on the mountain. So first we will start with this ring, and you have a nitrogen attached right here, so we will take M-chloroaniline, chlorine and an NH2 group right here. Then we will take diethyl 2-oxosuccinate, which is something like this. So it's a CH2 group attached to C double bond O, C2H5, C double bond O, C2H5. Now what we will do is remove H2O. So what we will do is, since this carbon, we'll take 1 oxygen from here, 2 hydrogens from here, and we will attach this right here. So we will attach it by double bonds. So N is attached with double bonds. So this will undergo cyclization in 250 degrees Celsius. There would be removal of C2H5OH. So we will remove this group, that is C2H5O and an H, which is given during the heating process. So we have this one right here, a CH2 group right here, a COH, that is this C and this OH, and then we will attach this carbon to this carbon right here. So we will get this ring. Now on addition of NaOH in the presence of water and HCl, we will get this ring. That is, we will have the removal of C2H5 and the addition of an oxygen. So C2H5, this one, so we will get COOH right here. Now when we heat it, there will be removal of carbon dioxide. So this C double bond O will be removed. So attached to this would be a hydrogen. So we can simply write it as this benzene ring. Now in the presence of POCl3, there would be chlorination. So this OH would be removed and replaced with a chlorine. So this will give us a 4,7-dichloroquinoline. Next we have the condensation of 4,7-dichloroquinoline with 1-diethyl amino 4-amino pentene. So as we remember, we need something like this, then another nitrogen right here, N attached to H, to 1 to N, C2H5, C2H5, this one, this one, this one, this one, and then here and here, and here we will have a chlorine. So we have already done till this part. Now we have a chlorine here instead of an NH. So what we will do is, we will add whatever we need next. So here if you see, we have an NH attached here, then we have a CH2, 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 N, C2H5, C2H5, and here we'll have a CH3. So we will add exactly this, N with 2 C2H5s, 1, 2, 3 CH2s, a C attached to a CH3, H and a nitrogen. So this is what we need, and we need another H right here. So I will call it 1-diethyl amino 4-amino pentane. So on addition of this to 4,7-dichloroquinoline, by removal of HCl, we will get a final product, that is chloroquine. Next we have the synthesis of pyrimethamine. So for the synthesis of pyrimethamine, we will start with the structure of pyrimethamine. So how do we remember this pyrimethamine? So pyrimethamine belongs to diaminopyrimidine. So diaminopyrimidine, how did we remember? We have a benzene ring. Attached to this we have another benzene ring with a chlorine group right here. Now what was there here? We added a NH2 here and NH2 right here. So it is a diaminopyrimidine. So two nitrogens right here, and then we have in the ring we have two nitrogens, that is we have one nitrogen here and here. So we have a pyridine ring, diaminopyridine ring, and then we have a pyrimethamine. So ETH, that is ethyl group. So we'll add the ethyl group here, C2H5. So we will start with this part right here, this part, and we will take a little bit of N also. So we will go with 4-chlorobenzyl cyanide. So chloro, and then this is a CH2 with a CN, so 4-chlorobenzyl cyanide. Now we will add methyl ester of propionic acid. Now this is a methyl ester of propionic acid. So we will have, in the presence of methyl ester of propionic acid, we will get beta ketonitrile. Now what is beta ketonitrile? Here we have a chlorine group. In the beta position to this we have a cyanide group. So beta keto, and we have a, in the beta position we have a keto group, and here we have a nitrile group. So beta ketonitrile. So in the presence of ethyl orthoformate, we have methoxymethyl derivative which is got. That is, instead of this double bond O, it will be OCH3, and this double bond will be transferred right here. So we will have methoxymethyl derivative. Now on heterocyclization with guanide, we will get pyrimethamine. Now we'll see again. First we will draw a 4-chlorobenzyl cyanide. This is a chlorine, this is a CH2, this is a CN. Now we will add C2H5, C double bond O, O, C2H5. So methyl ester of propionic acid, 1, 2, 3. This is 3. So we have methyl ester of propionic acid. Now to this, if this is added, what will happen is, we'll take a benzene ring with a chlorine with a CH2, C, N, we'll remove one H, and we will add C double bond O, O, C2, H5. So we will remove this part, and the remaining part will be added to this carbon, C double bond O, O, C2H5. Now if we use ethyl orthoformate, that is C, attached to it we have an H, OCH3, OCH3, OCH3. So we have a ethyl orthoformate. So when we add this, what will happen is, instead of this double bond O, we will get a OCH3. So we get benzene ring with a chlorine on the lower part, then we have a C, attached to it we have a CN. Now we will get a double bond here, C, and a OCH3 right here, and a C2H5. Now if we do heterocyclization with guanidine, that is NH2, C double bond NH, and NH2, now we will add this part right here. So we already have this ring right here, a carbon right here. This side we have a carbon, and here we have a carbon attached to C2H5, this one. So this is the main carbon. Attached to this carbon we have another carbon right here, and then the C2H5 right here. So this one will be attached to this part here. So this here, and this we will remove the CN, and we will add this carbon right here. So we will get pyrimethamine. So that's all we had for today. I hope you all enjoyed the class. If you all like the class, please subscribe, show us some love, and if you like it, please share it with your friends as well. We'll be back with more such amazing videos. I hope you like the video. Thank you. Mogasam.